My next guest is the COO of LeadersPress.com, a USA Today and Wall Street Journal best-selling press where she creates books for entrepreneurs from scratch and launches them to bestseller with a 100% success rate. Please welcome Grace O'Donnell. Welcome to the Powerful Female Leaders Podcast. I'm your host, Anna Patricia Bourgeois, certified business coach. I am here to help you up-level, generate consistent wealth, increase your confidence, attract dream clients, and master your mindset so that you can fully own your power and achieve next-level results in your online business and beyond. Every week, a powerful conversation will take place with amazing guests, or I'll share from my experience to help inspire you to start and scale the business of your dreams while being powerfully you. The time has come to stop playing small, stop hiding, and stop waiting. Now is the perfect time for you to passionately pursue your heart's desire as the powerful leader you were born to be. Are you ready? Let's do this. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Powerful Female Leaders Podcast. I am here today with Grace O'Donnell. Hey, girl.
Hello!
I'm so excited to have you on today.
I'm very excited to be here.
Yay! So feel free to give us the take on who is Grace, where does she come from? Like, tell us all the deets.
Yeah. Okay. All the deets might take a while. Get ready. um, but yeah, I grew up in Ireland on a farm in the middle of nowhere with three older brothers, which was really fun. And like, I think really I just let my imagination run wild, but I was very like, I want to see the world. So I went to a different country. I went to Edinburgh to study, and I did psychology because I'm fascinated by people and just loved it. Edinburgh's an amazing city. And then
Mm-hmm.
I kind of did a lot of project management, both for like a charity and kind of helped women in Africa develop skills, and then for a government agency where again helping people develop skills. And then I was like, oh, but my real passion is kind of telling stories. So I went
Mm.
into filmmaking and I loved it. I kind of traveled all over the world, Asia, America,
Wow.
Europe, yeah, making movies. But I got a bit burnt out. It was like a lot of movement, a lot of, new clients. And so then I was like, ooh, I want to tell stories, but stay in one place. Especially like when lockdown happened and everything. And
Yeah.
that's when I kind of joined the publishing industry. And yeah, it's just a perfect fit for me and I love it. I haven't looked back since.
Wow. I love that so much. I love how like you've tried so many things and then you just found yourself in that. So, can you share with us like exactly what really makes you passionate about the publishing industry?
I think we have like we were speaking a bit before we came on the podcast, and we have a
Mhm.
similar ethos that like sharing your story is really
Mhm.
powerful.
Yeah.
And just making sure that there are enough narratives out there as that we're not all listening to one really dominant one. And
Yeah.
I think education is the solution to most problems. So like writing informative books, yeah, I love doing it. I love empowering people to empower themselves.
Oh, this is so good. So, I know you help entrepreneurs specifically like create from scratch and launch their best-selling books. So, how would you know if an entrepreneur is actually ready to publish a book?
Ooh, well, I would probably say you're never ready. It's kind of like having a baby, right? You just do it. You know when you can't wait anymore, and you're like, I need to just get this out into the world. And I often think our bookmaking practices is a little bit like having a baby because it takes 9 months from concept to pushing it
Wow.
out. Yeah. So yeah, and maybe you put on some weight. I don't know.
Wow,
um,
that's like a big process. Like, wow.
Yeah, well, that's pretty streamlined because so we do 3 months of interviews, 2 months of writing, 2 months of line editing, and then formatting and marketing materials and getting it all lined up with Simon and Schuster. So it might, and doing some market research at the beginning. So it might seem like a long process, but it zips by.
Yeah, I can imagine. So I know your mission is to help 10,000 entrepreneurs share their wisdom with the world by 2030. And I love that vision. Like, this is amazing. And I think it's going to create such a big impact, which I'm all about. So can you share with us, like, where does that passion, that vision comes from? And like, what would be like the best, outcome from all of this impact?
So a lot of the authors I work with, they say that if just one person is helped by their book, then it's enough for them. And then you see that it's not just one, it's hundreds of people.
Mm,
And that's just super beautiful. And you see the authors themselves are helped by their own book. Like so we have two kinds of books. We have like people who are writing memoir legacy pieces and people who
mhm.
are writing how-tos. But regardless, you're still going to be kind of doing some self-reflection. And these are super busy people who maybe don't often have time to do that.
Mm.
So it's amazing what they kind of take from it. And they find the process just really wonderful. And I don't know, seeing that's amazing. Yeah, but the vision comes from the more we do and the more people get out of it, the more I want to do, basically. It's
Yeah.
just very exciting. It's not people are like, oh, but don't you get like tired and aren't you like, oh, sick of doing that stuff? But it's like, no, the more there is, the more I'm like, yes, yes, this is awesome.
Yeah, I love that so much. Amazing. So I'm really curious, like growing up, did you imagine you'd be doing what you do today?
Oh God, no, 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 no. No. Yeah, I never. So it's funny that you say that because so I was really good at school. Like I came top of my year and everything. Had like an amazing score in everything except for English. English was my
Wow.
worst subject by far. And then we had to do one of these kind of career tests at the end of school, and everything I got said that I should go into like the creative arts. And I was like, but I came from like, not very well off background, and like that was just not the done thing. Like it was, you were gonna
Mhm.
make money, you were gonna do something conservative, which I think is part of why I tried stuff, right? I was trying to make that kind of more conservative thing fit for me, but then just
Mm.
really miss the creativity. Um, and yeah, so no, I think 16-year-old me would have her little mind blown if she knew what I did. I think she would love it. She would be so proud and pleased and happy.
Yeah, oh, that's amazing. I'm so happy for you. Like, this is great.
Oh, oh, thank you.
Awesome. So I'm curious, like, what would you say to maybe like an aspiring author or entrepreneur who wants to start this passion? They want to undertake this and they're not sure where to start or like what to do. Like, what would you tell them for them to like find that motivation, that spark to keep going?
Yeah, okay, well, there's a few things. If you go to our website, leaderspress.com/discover,
Hmm.
there's a handy little quiz you can do that just kind of tells you what kind of author you should be. So that's really
Oh,
cool.
nice. I
Yeah,
love that. I love that tool. I'm going to do it too.
yeah, do it. And you can also get a free copy of Outsource Your Book from our website, which just goes through our process in detail.
Uh-huh.
But I would say make a really good book outline, because that'll keep you going. Like the hardest thing to get in place is the structure and return to it. And you can get a good book outline by um, just like do some research on books you love or
Mhm.
books that inspire you. See what they've done before. Like you don't need to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
And then be like, oh, they did this chronologically. Okay, I could do chronological. Or they did this thematically with some themes that like really resonate with me. So I could use some of these themes. But maybe I need to add in this and take out this. Yeah, because I think when you have your, at least for me, when you have your book structure in place, it removes that idea that like,
Uh,
oh, I'm waiting on the muse. It's like,
yeah.
oh, I'm going to work on this section next.
Yeah, I love that. The structure is so good. And it's the same thing for business, right? It's like you have to have a strategy in place, a structure in place, so it makes total sense. And what about the
Hmm.
mindset part? Because I'm pretty sure it's a lot of like what you feel and believe about yourself and what you're capable of accomplishing. So what would you say like is the biggest like mindset hurdle, or like how do you overcome that?
Oh, that's a great question. So I have a bunch of stuff, which is that like, okay, so one, I would get a writing buddy because that's really helpful with motivation too. So you're both working on it together. You can encourage each other, give each other feedback.
Mhm.
Someone else who wants to write. One, I would think of that one person like you can help because I think we get overwhelmed thinking, oh, there's this huge project, this book project
Yeah.
that's huge that I can't achieve. But actually, if we think about it more in terms of like, oh, there's this one person I can help, this is what I need to say to them, I think we can like maybe get out of our own way a little bit because we're
Mm.
like not focusing on ourselves so much. Um, yeah, so that would be some of my first pointers, I think.
Yeah, I love that so much. Thank you for sharing all of this. Like, this is amazing. I'm curious to know, like, what would you say was like the key to your success today? Like, was it something that happened? Was it like some kind of process? Like, what would you say is like the factor that really helped you be who you are today?
Oh, I would say active listening. Like I'm always listening and
Mm-hmm.
taking stuff in. And because of that, I think people are more willing to help me. Like I'm really lucky I have a really good mentor who's really good at
Mm-hmm.
like helping pull me out of the nitty gritty and into the big picture thinking. That's really helpful.
Yeah.
Um, and then just obvious stuff that I think we all know is important, like persistence. One of my coworkers and colleagues, he called me the lovely pit bull for my yeah, which I thought was really nice for my way
Yeah.
to just even though I'm very kind and warm, I just don't let things go. And I think that's definitely a trait that has stood to me. Both the lovely and the
Yeah.
pit bull part.
I love that. Great. So I ask this to everyone who comes on the podcast, and I'm curious to know your answer. What does being a powerful leader mean to you?
Oh, that's such a good question. You spoke about vulnerability, and I think, yeah, that ability to be vulnerable, to not be angry, to be
Hmm.
open and curious as opposed to
Yeah.
judgmental, but
Hmm.
without flip-flopping. There has to be a certain amount of consistency and a certain amount of assertiveness. I think that to
Hmm.
me is very powerful. I think the most powerful leaders always empower you just by who they are. Like they've really worked on
Yeah.
themselves and just by being around them. Like I know with Alinka, our CEO, like she is so inspiring because she just goes out there and does it and doesn't like ever point fingers and expects you to
Mm.
do the same though then because she takes ownership. So
Yeah.
you're meant to do that. Yeah, so I love that about her.
That is so good. Like, I hear lots of answers, and this is really good.
Oh, wow, amazing. Look at those suckers over there with their terrible
Yeah.
answers.
Yeah, awesome. So do you know have like any last piece of wisdom that you'd like to share with our audience today?
Oh, write your book. Yeah,
Yeah.
do it. Yeah, your wisdom will help someone out there, and you can do it. Just get out of your own way and just start writing. Pick up that pen.
Yes, do it. You got this.
Yeah.
Awesome. So where can people go to connect with you further in the online space?
Yeah, so my website is fallinggracefully.com, but you can go to reach out to me on the Leaders Press website. Will have my email address, leaderspress.com, and that's probably the best place if you want to talk about anything book or related or yeah, writing related.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today, for being here. It was really a great conversation, and I look forward to learning more about you and going on your site and doing all the tools. And yeah, one day I know I'm going to be a published author.
Yeah, sooner than you think. Maybe in just 9 months, hopefully.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank
Awesome. Thank you.
you so much.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Powerful Female Leaders podcast. If you love this episode, make sure to spread the message, leave a review, and subscribe. I would forever be grateful for you. I also want to hear from you, and I want to know your feedback and your questions for future episodes. So don't be shy, say hi, and send me a message at Powerful Female Leaders Podcast on Instagram. Until then, I'll see you on the next episode.